and welcome back to another video. I am SimplySimming if you are new here, and today's video is a speed build using the new stuff pack Nifty Knitting that came to The Sims 4 not too long ago, just a few weeks, not a few weeks ago, well, just like a week ago. I haven't had much time to explore that. I was preoccupied when the pack came out, so this is pretty much my first impressions, and I built this house like 2 days ago, so pretty much these are my only impressions and my first impressions on Nifty Knitting. However, I do have some opinions on the build items, which, as we all know, that's the only thing I'm here for in a pack. Just kidding. I don't play The Sims that much, like the gameplay that much, so I'm happy to have knitting, but like really I'm in it for the build items. So I will get to that and I'll tell you my opinions on the pack in a minute, but more about this speed build. So I'm building a cottage, as you can sort of see it come along. It's a little quaint little cottage in the woods. It's in Windenburg. It's on the lot that's called, I think, Mid Nowhere. You can see it on the screen right now, but it's just on that little island in Windenburg, and I think it's really cute, and I think this lot is perfect for it. It's a 20 by 20 lot, so it's quite small, but the house fits perfectly on it, and I just really think this house is super cute. This is like my kind of style house. Like I really like old, very traditional, cottagey type stuff. I feel like I just named a whole bunch of stuff, but it's hard. I have a hard time describing things because apparently my vocabulary is very limited, but that's my best way of describing it. I mean, you can kind of tell from a lot of the ways I furnish houses. I really like old-fashioned furniture and houses. Like, basically, like what I'm talking about is like a granny house. I love granny houses and furniture, that like the old furniture in it too. So that's my type of house, but I feel like since I envisioned an older couple living here, it's kind of like I imagine it to be a little bit of like an old house, but really there's nothing in particular about it that makes it like, oh, old-fashioned. It's just clutter. I created a Pinterest board for it because Pinterest is aesthetic, you know? But I created a Pinterest board for it for some inspiration to get, like, sometimes I do inspiration for like exteriors, but I don't always. I used to never. Ever since I was little building in like The Sims 3, I wouldn't use inspiration pictures that often, so I don't know, it was just habit, but I started to use inspiration a little bit more to grasp a style a little bit. Like, I feel like that is just, it's helpful to have inspiration. Like, if you saw my inspiration picture for the exterior of this house, you'd be like, it's not even the same house, because honestly, eventually you do end up, or at least I end up taking it in my own direction, and it becomes my own build and stuff. I don't know. I went off on a little tangent there about inspiration, but I had a Pinterest board, and actually I had an exterior inspiration picture, but I also created like interior inspiration pictures, and the main reason I did that was because I've talked about this before, but I think it's really satisfying when the inside of a house matches the exterior of a house, which I feel like it's less common in real life than it is I feel like in real life you can have houses that match the exterior, but I feel like in most people's homes, your house doesn't necessarily like have, like, the interior and the furnishing of your house doesn't have to match the like interior of, or the exterior style. I feel like a lot of the time it doesn't in real life, but I feel like in The Sims it's really satisfying to have that matching style, especially like from a gameplay standpoint, but just in general I feel like it's really satisfying to have that matching style. So I feel like to make myself get into that habit a little bit more, because I often kind of go off on my own little thing on the interior, and I don't try to, but I just start making my own furnishing and stuff, and then it turns into like, it just, that the inside doesn't match the outside, and that bothers me. So I felt like creating a Pinterest board with interior pictures would have me, like, I would have some inspiration for how to match the style of the outside with the inside, which was very helpful because I feel like the inside of this house is so cute. I love it so much. I think the kitchen is my favorite, but I also really love the entryway. So I think this house is super cute. If you want to download it, it is up on my gallery under the hashtag SimplySimming, or you can find my origin ID down in the description below if you want to play this in your game and play with it. And I don't know how expensive it is, but knowing me, it's probably really expensive, and I'm pretty sure it uses almost every pack in the game, so I'm sorry about that, but I bought the packs, so I want to use them, you know what I'm saying? I know not everyone, and I do want to do more like limited pack builds, because I think it is helpful, but at the same time, a lot of my builds, I don't like restricting packs, because like I said, I paid for the packs and I would like to use them, you know? Because I know not everyone can get the packs or has the packs, because they're expensive. No, I didn't mean to end that sentence with because, so I didn't really have much of a direction at the end of that sentence, but I meant not everyone has to pack, so I do want to do like limited builds and stuff, like limited pack builds and stuff like that. But I honestly don't know how many people actually go to the gallery. Like, how many of you guys watching this are actually going to go to the gallery, download this to play with it in your game? Like, I just feel like not a lot of people do that for my houses at this point. I have, what, 8 gallery followers? So I don't know. I just don't think a lot of people download. I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I would like you guys, I would actually like your input, because I feel like these houses, I'm making them, but you're also, I guess, the ones downloading them. I don't know. So it'd be cool to hear your input on, I don't know, do you actually download my houses, or do you download people's houses from speed builds? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Or would you like me to do pack restrictions? Would you like to see more of that? Because if you would, I'd be willing to do it. I just feel like not many people actually care that much about, like, for me personally, I've went on, like, in a separate voiceover, I've talked about how I'm a weird. Yeah, I am a weird. No, I'm weird about downloading, like, other people's stuff from the gallery, because, like, stylistically I like it to match my style and all that stuff, but that's a whole nother thing that I talked about in a different voiceover. So I don't know, I guess I'm kind of weird about, like, downloading gallery builds, but I just tend to, like, when I watch someone's speed builds, I'm not, like, thinking about downloading it. I just think it's really cool to watch people build, and, like, people are really talented, so it's, like, really cool to see other people build houses and do a really good job. And it's also, I feel like, good to, like, see what other people do and, like, learn how to build. I mean, it's not like you should copy people, that sounded bad, but, like, with anything, learning a new skill, a lot of it is you take inspiration from people you like, and you combine a lot of stuff you like. I feel like, especially in art, specifically different art forms, which, believe it or not, video making is an art form, but, like, you take inspiration from other people, and obviously you come up with your own ideas. But I mean, I feel like a lot of style comes from just merging a lot of what other people you like in other people's styles, and ended up creating your own. And you do end up creating a new one, because it's a combination of a lot of different styles. Okay, I have gone off. I haven't even talked about a lot of the things I want to talk about in this video. I've gone somewhere completely different with this voiceover, but as you can see right now, we're working on the yard, and you've seen me gone through and do all the landscaping, so you know, I'm pretty sure I cut most of it out, but you might see some of it, my indecision with the landscaping. I'm pretty sure I cut most of it out, but I had a hard time with the landscaping, because, so all my inspiration pictures had, like, this lush, full, very green, overgrown landscaping, and I wanted to recreate that, but I'm not very good at landscaping in the first place. I feel like I don't feel like, because there's a certain way to do landscaping to make it look really good, you know? I guess, as with anything there is, but I'm not good at finding that way in landscaping, so I feel like I have a hard time coming up with good landscaping, but I like the end turnout of what I did. It was just hard to get, like, the perfect amount of, like, green and overgrownness in the landscaping, but also still making it look nice and not just, like, a whole bunch of random plants everywhere. So I feel like I like the way it came out. I also use debug plants, which I don't often do. I feel like I don't go through the debug menu a lot, but I've been trying to recently, because it has a lot of cool stuff, and it's an easy way to get, like, new furniture that, like, and, like, clutter items that you just don't have, like, in the game. So I've realized how many cool things there are in debug, and I've been using them. So yeah. Anyways, oh, another thing about the landscaping, you're gonna see, so first of all, you should be proud of me, because I recorded this in 2 sittings, because I recorded this yesterday and the day before it, which usually my houses are in, like, 800 parts, and I probably record them in, like, 7 or 8 sittings sometimes, depending, 4 or 5 sittings, something like that, but 2 sittings is really good, so good. But anyways, I hope you're proud of me, because it's a small house, so it's a 20-minute video, so it shouldn't have taken me so long to do, but I did it in 2 sittings, and I'm proud of myself for that. I don't understand how, I just can't, my videos are so short, because I have a thing about cutting things out of videos. I don't know, I never know what to cut out, but anyways, that's a story for another day. Back to what I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, the terrain paint. So I the second part, so I record this in 2 parts. The first setting, I did the terrain paint, and then I come on the next day to finish this video, and the terrain paint is gone, and I was so mad because I really liked the way the terrain paint came out, and I'm kind of like a perfectionist when it comes to terrain paint. Like, I feel like it's got to be a specific way for it to actually look good, so I hated having to redo it, and I feel like the second time looks so much worse than the first time, but it's okay, it's done, I'm fine, but I'm just mad that the terrain paint was deleted. Like, why? Anyways, back to what I was going to talk about. Now I actually need to tell you guys about my opinions on the pack, because I was going to do that way before, but I just went off on an entirely different conversation in this voiceover. I don't know what's happened, but I'm talking about something completely different than I intended to. But my opinions on the pack. So, pack theme was DIY delight, right? So the cottage doesn't really suit the style of the pack. It suits the idea to me. Like, to me, when I think of, like, knitting, I think of, like, old granny cabin in the woods, you know? So, well, I feel like that was a weird way of putting it. But old, like, old house elders, you know? I personally did not vote for DIY delight. So, this is my way of rebelling, I guess you could say. I'm kidding, sort of. I just don't like the style of this pack. Like, I feel like they could have done something so much better. We already have so much of that in the game, and I don't necessarily, when I say these things, I'm not saying, like, I'm not mad at, like, EA, because they just did what was the fan vote. Like, this is what the community wanted, apparently, which is weird because I feel like I don't actually know that many people that actually voted for DIY delight, but clearly it won the fan vote, so clearly a lot of people wanted it. But I just feel like we already have so much of this in the game that we didn't need more of it, and I wanted granny chic, I wanted a pack for elders. I just don't like this style, so I'm a little upset with it. First of all, I don't like the style, but also I feel like it just doesn't match the concept very well. Like, when I think of knitting, I don't think of DIY delight, you know? So it was kind of hard to use the furniture because they do have some, like, deeper toned swatches on some of the furniture, so, like, it wasn't that hard, but it was a bit of a challenge because I was going for more, like, neutral tones. However, oh my gosh, so you can probably, as you guys have already seen from most of this video, I'm using so much of that, like, very intense bright orange brown, and I feel like so many people are gonna be like, ew, that's a gross color, why are you using it? But I love that wood tone, so I'm happy, because that's pretty much the only wood tone on, I think, most of the items. That's the only wood tone they have, or not the only one. They have, like, other ones on, like, some of the swatches, but for the most part, like, on the door, that's pretty much the only wood swatch tone. I don't even know if it's supposed to be wood, but it looks like wood because, I don't know, these windows are wood and they have the same color, so I just thought it was wood. But I got to use, first of all, I got to use a lot of Get Together because Get Together has that orange swatch in a lot of it, and I don't tend to use that pack a lot, like, ever in gameplay and in building, but I did end up using a lot of stuff from that to get that orange swatch because it has a lot of that in the pack. But anyways, about that orange swatch, I really like it. I feel like a lot of people are like, ew, and I understandably so. I feel like if you asked me a few years ago, I would have said ew, but now I'm like, I'm in love with this. I don't know what it is about the swatch, but I really like I really like it. So I was really happy that at least I got to use that, and I felt like it just suits the warm tones. There's also a lot of red in this build, which I don't tend to use. I don't tend to go towards red when it comes to building. I usually don't know how to make it look good, so I stay away from red, but I used it in this pack and in this build, and I think it came out really cute. I have now run out of things that I plan to talk about. I mean, I'm honestly impressed because I went off on a tangent in the beginning of this. I don't know, I just got off track, and so I'm surprised that I ran out of things to talk about. But we're only, what are we, 15 minutes into the build, and it's 22 minutes long, so yikes. I can talk about other things. I could talk to you guys about school. I probably shouldn't because I don't really want to think about school right now because it's kind of freaking me out. But so we still aren't sure about what we're doing for the next school year, so that's fun. My school has still not told us what we're doing for school. I really love that, not knowing how I'm gonna spend my junior year. But I mean, like, this whole situation that is happening right now is not necessarily ideal for, I think, anyone, and I'm honestly lucky to be in the position I am in. But I just, you know, it's not too, I'm not having a good time, so I didn't enjoy, I just in general, I'm not having a good time with this whole situation that we're in right now. But also, I didn't really enjoy distance learning. It wasn't like it was hard for me. Like, I could understand the work perfectly fine, and like it wasn't like challenging to understand the work. I just don't like the disconnect. I like the routine of going to school and stuff, so I don't like distance learning. And it's okay. I need to start over because I have not given you the context. I told you that I don't know what they're doing for school because they haven't told us yet, but my mom said that they're going to tell us within the next few days of when I'm recording this, not of when this is going up. I might already know. We'll see. But we're gonna figure out what our school is doing. I live in an area that's not that bad, so I'm lucky to be living in that area. So basically our options are distance learning, some sort of hybrid, or going in full-time. And now listen, my dream, I feel like we can all agree on this situation isn't ideal, and personally, not personally, I don't think this is like a hot take or anything, but I wish none of this ever happened. So I'm not very happy about thinking about what school's gonna bring, because like I want to go back to school full-time. I want everything to go back to the way it was. I want none of this to have happened, but I know that's not realistic. I'm very avid about safety and staying safe in these times, because even if this doesn't affect you, it can affect other people that you see, so like stay safe, you know? So like I'm very, I wouldn't say like obsessive or like, but I'm very avid about staying safe and stuff and the safety of this whole matter. So I know deep down that for safe reasons, I know we shouldn't go back to school at all. But the part of me that absolutely hates being at home all the time wants to go back to school. So like I know like that I just want this to not have happened is what I'm saying, because I know that I don't want people to get sick, so I don't want to go back to school just because I need to be in school. I know that. I just wish that none of this ever happened, and so I just want to have like a normal school year again and for none of this to have happened. But with the situations we're in, I feel like we shouldn't probably be going back to school, because school is probably a place where it's hard to stay safe. So I'm having a bit of a crisis of what I actually want, because I know that it's hard for me to figure out, because like even though I know that it's the right and safe decision to like not be going back to school, I know no matter what my year is not going to be normal. My school year, no matter what, is not going to be a normal school year, which is upsetting. But I also just know that for safety reasons, we probably shouldn't even be going into school. So it's but I also don't want that, but I also do at the same time, because I feel like I'm just expressing to you, like I'm basically telling you the battle that's going on in my head. But anyways, that's why I'm freaked out about school, because I know that for safety reasons we shouldn't be going to school, but I just wish none of this happened and it was normal again, because I hate learning from home. I just don't like not having a routine and stuff. So that's the crisis I'm having, and I'm very nervous about figuring out what it's gonna be, because like I said, it's a battle in my head. I know because like realistically, if I figured out we were going back to school like full time, I'd be kind of freaked out, because I'd be like, well, is that really safe? But the unrealistic part of my brain that's like, but I want life to be normal again, is taking over, and is like just wants to go back to school normally. But it's the unrealistic part of me, because I know that if we went back to school normally, it wouldn't be normal, you know? It's not gonna be the same, and so it's not right, you know? So I hope that made sense to you guys. I hope I didn't just, I don't know. I hope I explained that right, because I want you guys to know that I do understand the importance of being safe, and I understand, like, I'm very much, I have strong opinions about staying safe and stuff, like, I'm lucky to live in an area that it's not super bad right now, so like we have the opportunity to have some sort of hybrid, but I still don't know if that's really a good idea. So I don't know. Also, it seems a little weird, because my they sent out a survey to the parents, and I don't know why they're letting parents make this decision. I don't know if they actually are, but like it seems a little weird. Like maybe ask professionals before you ask parents. But I also think it's a little weird that they're not communicating with students as much, which that's just been a problem since the beginning of distance learning. I can't express to you guys how frustrating it's been, because our school, first of all, was kind of bad, I feel like, at communicating with students, because the idea was that we got it through school, which I did not get a lot of information through school. Even when I was like in the building, I like didn't know everything. So it's not so nice when they don't tell us things, and we're not even in school, so we have no way of figuring out, like, any update they had, like, I heard through my parents. They didn't email us. Even when school is canceled, we don't get a notification, which I think is dumb, because we're students, we should know. We're the ones actually going to the school, we should know. So I feel like it's just frustrating not hearing about the things that are affecting us, and more than they're affecting our parents. And it's not like, don't notify our parents. Of course notify our parents, but maybe also notify us, especially when we're not in school. Like, I guess before, when they wouldn't tell us things, they were expecting us to get them through school, which we didn't, but that's what their expectation and the idea was. So I get that, but now we literally aren't at school to get these things, so why aren't you telling us about the fact that we're not going, like, when they updated us about not going back to school ever for the rest of the school year, I mean, like, for the rest of the school year, we didn't get that. We didn't get any updates about actually school being out. We didn't get to be told like when our last day of school was being changed. Like, all these things I heard from my parents, and I heard, like, after the fact. Like, I don't know, just, like, come on, please tell us. Like, I understand, like, don't not tell our parents, but, like, tell us too. Like, we're the people going to the school. I don't know, it's frustrating. I, as you can see, am very frustrated, but it'll be okay. So anyways, it is getting to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will, I guess, update you guys on what my school is doing and how I feel about it soon. So I hope you guys like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.